It's About Time features dynamic women that will share the pivotal moments that changed their lives forever. From hilariously funny to gut-wrenchingly painful, from outlandish to acts of incredible bravery, each story will take you on an emotional journey. These are the moments that inspired us, captivated our minds, energized our souls, and motivated us to realize that this is our time. I'm Kelly Lamb, and I invite you to join us as we uncover the life-altering events that shaped who we are and fueled our pursuit of purpose. Let's celebrate the women, their resilience, strength, and the unique journeys that defines us as human beings.
How are you?
Oh, I'm good. It's so much fun to have you part of this because obviously for someone who doesn't know that's listening, we've been friends forever. We were just kids when we met, and all the life happenings and marriages in my part. Only two, but the first one, of course, and then kids together, and now we're both, what do you go by? I'm Nana. What are you? Grammy. Who's thought of that one? The first one? Or?
Yeah, it's me. Because I kind of thought Gram. Oh, maybe
you
someday.
should have went with Glammy.
Yeah, that's
Glammy. Why don't we call you Glammy, Grandma? Which they would have asked. So, but I'm so honored and love that you're part of this and part of this journey. Actually, to be honest, it's Debbie's fault.
At the porch time.
This is a no. It was not. We were at the wine bar and we were drinking some wine when you started talking about, you should do this. And I'm like, I should. This is a great idea. And we went on, and it's about time about. So it's actually your fault. So thank you for helping.
Well, congratulations. Or thank you, I should say.
Actually came into fruition. We did it. So it worked out well. But so I know you really well, of course, Debbie, and know you way more than half my life. So, but other people may not. So why don't you go ahead, introduce who you are, what you did and where you're at now, and a little bit about you.
Debbie Wood, and I grew up here in St. Louis, really close to you, in North County area. And I started as a nurse, loved it, but then life happens. My husband was traveling a lot at the time, so I couldn't be gone on the weekends and the holidays and things like that. So I transitioned into sales and became a sales executive, had a wonderful career, loved my career, loved the people that I worked with. And just recently, 3 years ago, I actually retired. So I'm a retired grandma. I have 2 kids. I have a son and a daughter. I am living the life. I have 4 beautiful grandbabies, and then my son's getting married in October, so hopefully I'll have more in the future.
Yeah, absolutely you will. They're such a cute couple. I mean, I watched you transition your positions and just everything.
You're my maid of honor at my wedding. I know it goes way back.
Just think of all the things that it almost seems like we're talking about other people when we think back, doesn't it? But you're coming up on 40 years of marriage?
40 years, that's right. We were different people back then, right?
Yeah.
That happens.
It does, and it's okay to change. It's okay to evolve and find out who you want to be and, the things that you go through, especially when you're married a long time. My gosh, there's so many trials and I mean, you're growing while like in your case, you're growing while you're together, and all the things that you have to go through in that time of marriage. And here you are now, 40 years, getting ready to go on a great vacation and celebrate, that time together. And I mean, that's wonderful. I mean, you made it. What inspires you, or what has given you the strength to be together for 40 years and still looking forward to more?
Yeah, thank you for asking that. My faith has a big part of it. Early on, not so much. So, people always ask me, and this is really what has driven me, is one, the divorce rate is so high, it's 50%. And then as I really dug into it, the people that are asking for the divorce is typically 70% women. So, think about, why is it women that
because men are just ridiculous.
They're loving having everything done for them,
they make so many mistakes. They don't get it.
I did not say that.
Why didn't you know what I wanted? Did I have to ask?
But with that, I think now that we have careers and we're doing a lot more than what our parents did.
Oh my gosh, a lot more.
And, I feel like what inspired me to do this was people asked me, even when I was married at 25 years, people would say, what's your secret? You've been married for 25 years. even over this past weekend, I had a relative said, "Oh my goodness, you're going to be married for 40 years to the same man." I said, "Well, I kind of call it 3 different men." Same marriage with 3 men.
Brian A, B, and C.
But, and she asked me really, she goes, "If you don't mind me asking, has it always been blissful?" And I was like, "No, it's not been. When you've been married to somebody for 40 years, it's like the road to Hana. You have hills, you have valleys. Yeah, it's curved. You may have to stop and back up. I mean, there's so many things going on. Life happens. You have kids, death of a parent, whatever it may be. You continually, whatever season of life that you're in, continually have to change. And I think that's what's motivated me is when people started asking me that, I'm like, I really got to share my story, and I got to be really honest that we did struggle, and we decided when we got married, we're committed to one another, and it's just recommitting ourselves. And we fight, we argue, we just like a typical couple, but we don't leave each other. Friends don't leave each other.
No.
Best friends don't leave each other when
Real
the time
friends,
gets
true
friends when the time gets rough, right? So you want to stick by that person. So what I wrote about my chapter is really just, I feel like it's a love story.
Yeah. And the title of your chapter is?
It's Perfectly Imperfect, a marriage strengthened by grace. So that's forgiveness.
Yes, absolutely. And you guys have evolved together in your faith as well, which that you had mentioned in the beginning of the interview that you didn't always have it, and you found it later together, which has made a big impact on your relationship.
Absolutely. Brian was always in the church. His grandfather was a Baptist preacher and very much that Southern gospel preaching, but his faith has evolved to more of a mutual, more mutual kind of love and commitment towards one another, not just one-sided.
Yeah.
And I did. When I met him, I fell in love with his family. His family was just so different than mine. I mean, they were loving, and they went on family vacations, and they,
like what? Where's the dysfunction? Is
there
dysfunction out there?
Yeah, really. That's exactly what I thought. Is this what a normal family looks like? I'll believe this. I want to be part of this. Sign me up.
Everybody needs that Juno. My grandparents were my June and one. My mom and dad. I have no idea how they got through what they did. We're all traumatized from our parents.
I think everybody is. We all have a little bit of trauma.
And then grandma and grandpa were they, sit down and have dinner at 5, and they were just the just that old-fashioned kind of stable, that gene or stableness.
She got more clear to leave it to Beaver.
Gene got come in pearls, but it's pretty doggone close there.
Yeah, I don't want to wear heels every night.
That is important to know, because there are a lot of relationships out there, and you guys you go to the gym together, you grocery shop, you do things together. You aren't, sometimes people that become empty nesters and their kids move out and they've had this longevity together, and then the kids are gone. They don't know what to do with themselves anymore because they grew so far apart that now they don't have anything kind of in common that's holding the block together at home. And that's something that you guys, your faith, your friends, you found things that kept you two together.
We have fun together.
Yes.
We're best friends. We really are. But we also, there's things that we want to do separate. I have my thing, that I'm very involved with Make-A-Wish. I just got involved with CASA. That's the court-appointed special advocate. And so there's things that I do. And I think when you do retire and you've been married for so long, you still have to have and keep your own person. You still have to have your own identity.
Brian's at the front door like the puppies. Little tails wagging. Debbie's home.
He volunteers too.
It's always nice if one's a little more patient in the relationship. I would have to say Gordon is much more patient than I am. I'm like, he's like, so you're down just a tad bit here. So I think it helps to have that balance, in a relationship. So let me ask you some questions here. So, in your story that you gave us your chapter title, what inspired you to share this love story, this perfectly imperfect relationship with others?
That's basically, I kind of said it just a little bit ago. I just want to make sure that people give their spouses a chance. There's times in our lives that things don't work out, and I just want to inspire somebody to make that extra step. One of the things that I learned at a young age, I wasn't the best communicator. I learned very quickly it was less threatening to talk and not to make a ruckus. So in my story, the pivotal moment was really when I wanted to get out of the marriage.
Mhm.
But the pivotal piece of that piece was I never told my husband or Brian why I was so unhappy.
Yeah.
I kept that in. So I think as women, we have our own voice. We have, careers, or we're stay home, or we're staying home with the kids, but we still have a voice.
Right.
So I want to make sure that people speak up. If there's things that are going on, let your spouse know. We actually owe it to them to be honest.
Mhm. You're very right. Absolutely. Great insight. Was there a moment while writing your chapter when you felt emotional, empowered, or even hesitant to tell your story?
Yeah, almost the whole thing. Every time I wrote, I sat back and, a piece of a paragraph, and I would get really teary-eyed and emotional about it, because one of the things that I was really trying to think about was I wanted to honor Brian. I wanted to honor my husband. I've been married to him for 40 years. And I wanted to honor my parents too, because I talk a little bit about my childhood. So I wanted to make sure that I'm honoring them, I'm honoring my husband. I want to make sure what I write doesn't embarrass my children. So
Yet to tell your story at the same time. To have that voice, you can also hurt someone by giving your voice. So you want to, and it is perfectly imperfect. We all make mistakes, or do, or say the wrong thing, or make the wrong choice. It's kind of makes us who we are. Gordon said to me one time, I'd rather go through every bad day with you than not have a day with you. Sometimes you have to kind of realize that wow, you really have to be in that place and appreciate where you're at, and it's not perfect all the time. Nothing is, and if anybody tries to act like it is, they're what I said earlier with their teen up, they're liars.
They're not telling the truth.
No,
that's
they're
for
not.
sure.
And then, like you said, we all have things that happen to us emotionally as we're growing up or through life, or and it's where you decide to take that and use that. And I think, like you said, you've went through things, but you grow from it, and you, like you said, Brian's other people, because he's learned what works and doesn't work too.
Oh, he's really changed, but he would have never changed on some of the things that was bothering me unless I would have, spoke to him in a loving manner.
Yeah,
right?
and your faith together as well is so important.
Faith is really big.
So how did this pivotal moment change you? Not just right now in that season, but moving forward, which I think you've touched on a little bit with, I've heard these strong words that you said, but that pivotal moment, and you're writing your story, what do you see that it's done for you for the long haul?
I don't want to walk away. I don't want it to be easy, right?
Mm-hmm.
Marriage isn't always fun and games, and it's not always laughter. And
Life wants to get in the way. It's so rude.
yeah, every day life gets in the way, right? Every single day. So I feel like I've committed to my husband, and I've committed to him that I'll communicate with him. And it's a daily struggle for me,
Yeah.
So I want to make sure just every day if there's something going on in my heart that I'll just, lay it out there.
Yeah, you're very lucky when I hear you say, you're coming up on 40 years. I wish I could say that someday.
I hope you can. I bet you
I'll
will.
be really, I'd be 100 years old, so 101, I think. So I'm not sure that's hi there.
Well, I think so. Most of the time, second marriages work out better than those first.
Oh,
you're older, more mature.
There's no comparison whatsoever. But it's a long time to get to have one or the other. You should be very proud of being together and the sacrifices and things that you've made to be where you're at, and it will only keep getting better.
I can't wait till
always say we love you and we tolerate Brian. Actually, Brian says that.
Yeah, he does that. He actually will say that.
That's right. Gordon cracks up all the time at this work, little smiles that he gets on him when he knows that he's done something or does it. But you make the perfect pair. You're so, to me, and I've known you a long time, you're a very balanced, you're a very caring individual. My gosh, you're just so giving. And considering that you even talk about, as a child or what you went through, because our parents make crazy mistakes that that we have to suffer through, but you've just become an incredible woman from it all. So, and I don't know, choices that you've made that developed into such an amazing woman. So,
Well, thank you.
so glad to know you and call you my friend.
Me too.
And-
Me too. And thank you for letting me be a part of this.
Thanks for talking me into it.
You're welcome.
Well, I look forward to reading your story. That's going to be exciting when it comes in, and then when this book comes out, it will be even more fun. We'll get to celebrate that it finally happened. So thank you so much.
Okay, love you, girl.
Love you.